Welcome back to Welker Farms. What is on the agenda for today? Well, that's a good question. There's a lot of things to do. Always something to wrench on. I mean, we can always work on something. But what needs to be done is we have a couple contracts of wheat that needs to be hauled, and it's due this month, which obviously there's no pressure. It's not like we have to get it in right away. They don't need it just now, but it'd be good to be done. So saying that, we have a bin that we can use the conveyor on, one of the big, huge West Steel bins, and we can pull from that one, but there's a problem. Some of the, two vents got ripped off with the wind that we've had, and here's one of them. And it is, well, it's not gonna be fun to put back on. And here's the thing, the bin is full. So we'll pull a little bit of the bin out so somebody can get in there, and then we're gonna try to put those two vents on before we pull more. But in the meantime, so the guys can keep on hauling wheat, I think what we're gonna do is grab the grain vac. So get the REM VR12, and we're gonna grab that 4520 that we just put the engine swap in. And I think that's gonna be a good test, even though we don't have the new radiator for it, and we're not completely finished with it. But let's hook it up to the grain vac, and let's just see how it does. And who knows? If it doesn't heat, like doesn't overheat, then we know the engine was super wore out, which we knew before. But if it still overheats, we do have a radiator coming. So saying that, let's go get that 4520 started. Unhook it from the land roller, and then let's drop the water. Oh, hey, hi Nick. Hey Nick, do we need to drop the water in the radiator? Because we didn't put coolant in it.
Yeah, I probably would not drop the water in the radiator.
Okay, we should probably not do that. No, well, we just put water in it because there's a bunch of contaminants in the block, and
we got a flush we're gonna put through it too. We just haven't done that yet.
Right.
Might as well drop it with new water in. It's not gonna freeze.
Right.
Probably start this Detroit up too for everybody.
Oh, there you go. Are you gonna move this thing?
Yeah.
Okay, you got the master on the other side still on?
No, I don't even.
Those things are so cool when they run, those two-stroits. And then they like to scream a little bit when you're running it. And this land roller that I made, or made, not really made, but remodeled or revamped, so far worked pretty good. Because Nick had to do a little bit of work on his road, so use that to work on it, and then we rolled he's grinding his gears a little bit. It's meant to do that, right? That's cool. All right, well, we do have one issue with this 4520. And I was trying to diagnose it the other day. Nick was running it just for a little bit, trying it out, and all of a sudden a little bit of smoke came out of the dash, and now the key switch doesn't work because there's wire that shorted out. So what we gotta do to start it, you're gonna love it. Don't worry, we're gonna fix that wire. We're gonna grab one of these, put it on the power. Oh, there we go. It's hard to do it. Let me do it this way. Let's get this thing to start. Oh yeah, meant to start like that. We'll go drive this thing over, park the land roller, bring it back to the shop, put some of that flush stuff in the radiator and clean it out a little bit. I got myself a hitchhiker.
This thing's loud.
What?
I got new knobs coming for a lot of this stuff. I was gonna buy a new steering wheel, but the 7700, 7720 use the same steering wheel.
Oh, really?
So we're gonna go steal one off one of those.
Oh. Okay.
I got a new cover for the rubber front for the gas cap and radiator going good. There's a bunch of little parts coming for this thing.
Wow. It's gonna be too nice of a tractor to use.
I know. I want to rob the seat out of one of those 7700s and put it in that grader, and I want to raise it up a foot.
That's a good idea. Yeah,
And see
I like that.
Yeah, we're gonna steal some combine parts.
problem. So yeah, anyways. Okay, let's go get some work done. Sounds great. All right, let's dump some of that stuff in the radiator and let it kind of circulate, and then we'll drop the water in it. Is this the stuff right here?
Just dump the whole bottle in.
Okay.
Well,
some stuff that he got from that parts store in town.
Oh, it's a powder. It said 12 minutes is what you're supposed to leave it in there for. Otherwise, it could cause damage to some of the seals and stuff like the pump and whatnot.
Well, we're not worried about the radiator getting damaged. So, there's that. Okay. We'll let it run for a little bit.
All right, I think we're about there. Just about 12 minutes in. Light idle. We're wrapping a couple times here to get that fluid to swirl around. All right, how nasty is this going to be? Let's find out. Well, that should just be the color of water. Now there's a little coolant probably in this engine, but we did not put coolant in this thing. We put just water in it. Ugh. Let's pull the radiator hose off. Do that too. Nasty. Woo! There's some crud in that. Look at all that rust. He is brown, brown, brown. Good. Out of that, onto here. I'll put some clean water in it. Maybe we run it more time, flush it, put some clean water in, dump it, clean water and dump it. And then we'll run water again until we get the new radiator in a couple days. Put the new radiator in. And I think, guys, I know, you're all screaming at us, and I get it. I hear you loud and clear, but I'm gonna start buying some front end parts for this thing, and we're gonna make it look a little nicer, and I think we're gonna paint it. Like this one's got a dent here, The hood, that's a big piece. That's all bent up here. We'll try to clean that up. This piece is shot, gotta replace that one. That piece is shot, gotta replace that one. These side covers are breaking apart, gotta replace them. So I'm gonna go put a bunch of stuff together. I don't know, it'll probably be $500 to $800 and panels, but do it, put it on it, it'll make it look nice, and you guys will appreciate it. We'll appreciate it. And then the hood too, we gotta decide what we're gonna do. But we will never be able to put the intake on this thing because our air cleaner is gonna be not the original air cleaner. It's just not gonna be the way that original one was, so we won't do that. Still coming out of the block. Look at that.
All right, we are ready to go to move the tractor over there. Hydraulics work pretty good so far. It lifts it up the auger on the Ren VR12. I was kind of worried about this pump, how well it did, but so far it seems to be pretty good. We greased it all up. Tractor coolant, well, water is changed, and I didn't get to see how nasty it was, but Nick said it was pretty bad, so there's that. Okay, hold your thumbs up. All right, like a glove. Perfect. Thanks, boss. Whoa. Whoa. There's that guy again. Yeah, he came over to go truck for us for a little bit, so. Mr. Brandon, he's pretty stoked. For those that don't know, his last name is Stoke, so I'm going to say Stoke. I mean, doesn't he look like he's ready to go? All right, let's move some grain, guys, because it's about time for us to get busy. Yeah. So here's the negative thing. When we built this bin circle, we had 2 augers, one that would swing around, that would fill, and then the other one would swing over to the truck. And then you reverse it, the one would go to the bottom of the bin, swing around, and the top one would go over to the truck. Well, 10-inch augers are small nowadays, and things got bigger and a lot more things changed. So it sucks getting grain out of these things. So what we have to do is what he's doing. We got to take the truck, we got to back it in underneath this hopper here. Well, not the hopper, but the auger spout. And then we got to fill it, and then you can take off. Major inconvenience, but just how it goes. Couple tries and we'll get it on the first try. Is that how it goes? I think it's how it goes. Not entirely sure, but anyways, it's been I don't know if we even used this grain vac last year. I don't think we did. In fact, I don't even know if we used it the year before, because we just haven't been able to fill a lot of these bins. But my memory is pretty bad anyways, so what can I say? But it's gonna be nice to get this thing running again. It moves a tremendous amount of wheat quickly. It's awesome, and it's really not that loud. Firm believer in that thing. Sure beats a bin sweep and shoveling out of the bin. I'm getting lazier. Much, much lazier. I guess that's okay, right? All right, before we put grain in it, we want to make sure the gates are shut, because we're gonna have a bad day if we don't shut the gates. And so far, they look like they're shut. We're gonna have a good day. That's the key. So, how this is gonna work is you only use hydraulics to move the auger out. Then you just turn the PTO on, let the fan spin inside here, creates a suction, big vacuum cleaner, sucks the grain out of the bin, puts it in the truck. And fun things happen. So engage the PTO with a lever right here. You gotta slowly engage it. You wanna watch back here. Those other big bins. I mean, it just sucks it right out. Kind of like being a milkshake. I just suck it out fast. They're tasty. You can tell by my physique. Yeah, we're getting. Hey, we'll fill these trucks quickly. Turn the PTO off. It's gonna stop running drain out. He's good to go. Didn't stop it in time. There's a little bit fuller in the front, but it'll be good. All right. Now let's get the other truck underneath here. Start filling that one. Man, this thing moves a lot. And I didn't have it full revved up all the way. With only about 1,500 RPM. There's no point of really just maxing it out right now. We're not in a huge rush. So might as well just take it a little easy. Don't break things right away. Break them later. That's what I want to do. No, I don't want to do that. I'll be honest, I don't like breaking things. It's no fun. All right, let's start this up again. shear bolt broke on the, yep. They got a safety shear bolt there, and it was moving quite a bit of grain. So, it might have put too much through it. Yep, shear bolt's broke. All right, there's a spot that they mounted a couple shear bolts. Where do they put those? Where do they put those things to? Now that's a nice thing that they did is you don't damage anything. You got to have a way to give so you don't twist things up. Well, they just have a bolt right here that's bolted to the backside. And that's what that's what it all runs on, is that one shear bolt. Grab a couple here. Jump in with you. Is that a grade 8 bolt? No. Yeah, just a standard bolt. We probably don't want grade 8s in there. I don't think you want that. Okay, grab some tools real quick. Okay.
Oh, you need something to punch it out with?
I need to take off the back side. Wonder how I'm gonna.
Yeah, I can shut the tractor off and then.
Yeah, and we'll have to try to turn it. And it's up, right there. Okay, we're in. She's full of grain. What if we sheared another bolt? We might have sheared another bolt. Yeah, we sheared another bolt. She's full of product. We got it cleaned out. We'll rev this up a little bit. We're not going to go to 1500 RPM because it moves a lot of grain. We'll go to like 13 and a half. Try it. Still moving a lot of grain, but it's working.
While the guys were trying to haul yesterday, we had a problem, not with the deer. Things actually been running really good. The VR12, it was kind of giving some weird problems. We think something in the flighting, the auger came apart because it just quit loading the truck, and I think it filled the chamber up with grain. There was a kit that they sent to us not long after we got this VR12 that was going to upgrade, I think, the joint inside the flighting in here, and we just never got to installing it. My bad, our bad. We'll take my bad. And I think that's what happened. The kit was to improve, obviously, what probably just happened. So let's just drive this over to the shop and let's let the grain dump on the ground, open this up, and let's see what we needed to fix, because it was probably us that didn't get it fixed in time. We were just running it. Well, that's why they send out fixes, updates. So let's go. Fire the tractor up. On a side note, before I start the tractor up, somehow we lost the covers. I didn't even know there was a cover that goes right here, a shield panel. Got those ordered. Gonna try to rebuild those screens here on ours. Look at them closely. They're kind of expensive each, like 200 some bucks a piece. So if I can fix the old ones up, we'll just reuse them. These ones though, I cannot find. The 4620 is a 70 something or another, and then the 4520 is a unique panel in the front here. This one's fine. We can fix this up, a little dent there. This is the one that's the bugger. It's all beat and pitted. Someone tried to fix this, and then there's that on there. Let's not talk about that, but I don't think anybody makes replacement ones of those. 4020s, 4030s, all that stuff, 4010s, all over the place. You can get replacement panels, but this particular shape And from my understanding, it's not interchangeable from the 4020. It's different. Bummer, because this was kind of a eyesore. So we'll do what we can to clean this up, maybe Bondo it. And then got a new one of these coming, but then the hood too. This whole face here is just all beat up. Got some braking going on. Just years running a front loader, stuff getting dropped on it. And I'm sure they probably don't make that either. And I bet that one's expensive. So we'll do what we can, guys, when it comes time to really clean this up. But we got a decal kit coming. And it's just, you know, I'm not like it's just going to restore this tractor, but because this is probably going to become one of our main PTO tractors with this higher horsepower running engine, you got to make it look a little nicer, right? All right, let's see what we got here. I don't see anything unusual with that joint. I don't see anything unusual with that one either. Huh. All right. We'll keep investigating, find out what's going on here. All right. We found it. It was our fault. This chain was ridiculously loose. Like, I mean, it was bad. And that sprocket in here, it's locked, but the upper sprocket in there, the teeth are shot on it. They're really bad. So what's happened was the chain was climbing, it was grabbing and binding, and that was what was causing the jarring sound. And then eventually it filled up. It was slipping down the chain. It's crazy, but we're 99% sure that's what's wrong. So we got new sprockets coming. Because this chain's shot and the sprockets are shot, I tightened, absolutely maxed out the adjustment as much as possible. So we'll just run it until we get the new sprockets and we'll swap it out. But it'll run fine. But it's our fault. So, all right. You guys want to see the pile of grain left on the ground to dump this thing out? Look at that. All that grain. There. Was inside that. I think a whole lot of grain. That's like 3 or 4 bushels. This vac is amazing though. It moves a lot of grain. The VR12, what that means is it can do up to 12,000 bushels an hour in perfect conditions. So realistically, 7,000 to 8,000 bushels an hour pulling out the side of a bin, that's a lot. We haven't used this vac in a long time because we just have had such horrible crops. With those big grain bins we had built, we can fit all of our grain in just a couple grain bins. So this poor vac has not seen much use the last 2 or 3 years. That's why you guys haven't seen much of it. It's just been sitting in the building. But last year we did put some grain in a couple smaller bins, so that's what we're using it for. And this year, oh yeah, we're filling everything.